Good evening. Today is Thursday, November 18th, 2021, and I'll call this Fairfield City School District Board of Education regular meeting to order. Mrs. Lane, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Begley.
Here.
Mr. Birding.
Present.
Mr. Clark.
Present.
Mrs. Gundram. Mrs. Shorter. Here.
Mrs. Shorter, will you please lead us in the pledge?
My pleasure. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mrs. Shorter.
You're welcome.
First item on our agenda is presentations and resolutions. I'll turn it over to Mr. Smith.
Thank you, Ms. Birding and members of the board. We do have one presentation scheduled this evening. The title is Meeting the Social Emotional Needs of Our Students. If you recall back, I believe it was in the summer, this was one of the presentations that the board requested. Very excited this evening to welcome our Director of Student Services, Mr. Matt Crapo, and I'll turn it over to him at this time.
Good evening, everybody. I'm excited to talk about this. We value this portion to our curriculum. I know it's a little bit outside the box, but social emotional learning really is a great impact with the district, as we got to make sure that the kids are ready to learn, they're ready to absorb the information, and we're able to identify the needs of our students in both academic side and the social emotional side. So we've been putting a lot of resources over the time in this area. Starting with, we work with two organizations, Catalyst Counseling and New Paths. New Paths was St. Joe's. Catalyst Counseling offers our students therapists and social workers. So a therapist is, you're able to work through your insurance company and schedule times with your therapist to discuss the issues that's going on, and have a partner with you. A social worker is a person that you don't need an insurance company. You don't need that hurdle to go through. It's the person that's available here we got them at the high school and the academy, where any day you can walk up and have that discussion with a licensed social worker. And again, you don't need it breaks the insurance barrier. So it's a huge piece that we were able to add this year. Catalyst has the ability to work with the uninsured as well as the insured. And so that's another big piece that we like with Catalyst is their therapist, the 1099, and they're able to work with the insured. So it breaks another barrier where just, based on the insurance company that your parents have, we can still service the needs of the students. As far as data goes, for the first 3 months of schools, these numbers are just impressive to me that we're able to reach this number of students, but 151 students are actively receiving therapeutic treatment and 542 visits with our social workers. So the social workers are brand new this year. They've only been in the high school for 3 months, and they've been able to work with our students, and it's a great bridge before you have to go to the assistant principal or the principal. You're able to work with the social worker and hopefully work out the needs. So that was a huge piece. As far as New Paths goes, New Paths, they have therapists and case managers. Case managers has a unique ability to work with the practices that the therapist is working with the child. The case managers make sure that that is being incorporated in the classroom. So if they're working on various strategies on how to calm, how to get your feelings out, how to express your emotions, the therapist might work with the student every other week, but the case manager is checking in, making sure that those practices are taking place in the classroom. And so with New Paths and Catalyst, I think it's a huge 1-2 punch that we're able to really get to a lot of kids and try to knock down as many barriers as possible because of the two completely different business models coming together. In the first 3 months, New Paths have served 157 students. Envisions is another partnership that we've been working with for quite some time. They run various support groups: communication, anger management, conflict resolution, suicide prevention, drug and alcohol prevention education. They've got about 170 students through the district. They work with freshmen, Creekside and Crossroads, so they're the secondary, middle school and up. And additional support groups are offered at the high school and the academy. In the elementary side, they're currently working with East and West with Celebrate Me, which is where loved ones or family members are going through substance use disorder. And so they're pulling groups of kids. So it's not one-on-one therapy, but their teachers, students, families are identifying the needs, and then they'll pull a handful of kids in that share the similar needs, and they'll talk about it and work through various activities. Fairfield students are also now involved in Camp Mariposa, which is at Camp Campbellgard. So this is a newer activity through Envisions where they'll go and get additional support in a group setting again. And then students also participate in family outings throughout the year through Camp Mariposa. So the students that go will have the opportunity to maybe go to a Reds game, go-karting, something like that, but Envisions will be able to pull them as a group to say, let's get together outside, let's have some fun. Let's get together, so.
Envisions is the nonprofit that's here locally, right?
Yes, yep. Another layer of social emotional learning we have is Hope Squad. Make sure, there we go. So Hope Squad is a school-based peer-to-peer suicide prevention program. Advisors are QPR trained, so that's question, persuade, and refer, and then train students each year during the nomination process. Through QPR, students receive training on how to recognize the warning sign on their peers and find assistance with an adult. Advisors expose students to various situations throughout the regularly scheduled meetings. We have Hope Squad in the middle schools, the freshmen, and the high school. Middle schools, each one works a little bit differently, but they meet daily during their advisory, and then one meeting after school per month, and we've got currently 32 middle school Hope Squad members. Freshman school members meet twice per month and once after school. Currently, there are 10 members. And then the high school meets twice per month and after school. So again, Hope Squad, the goal is that the students go through the training so that they can become the member of their peers that students want to be able to talk to. They can recognize they're going to be good people, good friends, but also like they know where to go when they recognize an issue's coming up. So they're not being trained to solve the world's problems. They're being trained to be somebody that someone can come to and then get them to the professional. And to talk about the experience, I have Amber Eichel here as a sophomore, and we're very happy that she's willing to come up. So,
Hi. Here's a microphone. My name's Amber Eichel, like he said. This is my 4th year in Hope Squad, I believe. So I've been in there since middle school, and I found that it's a really amazing community, like within that, and just for the school to have, because I feel like it means so much more when you can talk to one of your peers instead of having to go to a student you don't know, or a teacher who you know like may not be well equipped for something like that. So I feel like just students are much more comfortable talking to their friends, and throughout the time I've been in Hope Squad, we've done a lot to connect with people outside of the school. So like we have an Instagram page that a lot of people follow, and we do takeovers with the members each week. And we just post things that make people smile, little motivational quotes, things about their daily life that we think could make people's lives better. And a lot of people really just need that small thing in their life, and I feel like we do our best to be that. And not only can we just change the lives of these strangers, but like I've been able to change the life of a few of my friends. Like I had a couple friends who were dealing with mental health issues, and I was able to have that training and recognize the signs. And now I have a few of them who are in therapy now, very happy with it, and it just feels so amazing to be able to make that difference, because even though we aren't professionals, we can still change someone's life, which I find to be amazing, and a lot of them just are so thankful for what we've been able to do. We've done a lot of work with, obviously, the people who taught us QPR, but in 6th grade, that was like forever ago, we went to a convention for the Ohio Hope Squad, and we got to learn all about different ways we can change our community, and we got to learn from people like 911 operators and therapists who know like the real life applications of what this can be, and I feel like that's been really beneficial, and it's kind of changed a lot of how we address these situations, because we realize that they can be serious and that like we're not a therapist in any way. Like we are not equipped to like deal with all of it, so we just know that like these can be serious and we need to go to the counselor or a therapist or anyone who we can talk to. And we've done a lot of school-wide activities that are a little less serious. Every winter last year, we passed out candy canes that had little motivational messages that just make everybody happy. And so even though we may not always be doing the serious stuff, we do our best in our daily lives to just make people smile and kind of just to better our community in every way. Thanks.
And alongside this, we also offer various curriculum models in the elementary level. So starting with surveys. So one of our goals is to try to figure out if students need support, and if they need support, what level of support and where do they need that support. So Panorama is a partnership that we've been working with for many years, that we will survey the students twice per year, and they're very general questions, but it's basically, do you feel like you're supported? Do you need some help in certain areas, and can we offer that? And what this does is it gives our elementary counselors data. So teachers run their classrooms on data. We expect teachers to do that data, but counselors, what data do they use to run their groups? And with Panorama that we're using, we're able to pull the data. So many students of kids feel this way. This percentage of kids feel this way. And they're able to then generate their groups, and they go into classrooms and teach lessons based on the data that's being pulled. Panorama offers a playbook which comes with the lessons. So it's a huge piece to this. Just like teachers, we expect lesson plans and teaching and good instruction, and good instruction based on the data that the students are producing. Counselors now have the ability to gather the data, deliver the instruction, and then gather the feedback on their instruction. Another piece that the elementary counselors use is Second Step. Second Step is a curriculum, kindergarten through 5th grade. The kits will come aligned with the state social and emotional learning standards. Counselors use these lessons while working with classrooms to help students learn on how to calm themselves down, self-regulate, and appreciate the point of view of others, think critically, and solve problems peacefully. So it's a piece of curriculum. So we've got wonderful counselors, we've got the space, and now we're giving them the tools that they need to go teach the subject. The second curriculum that they use is Choose Love. Choose Love is a curriculum, again, aligned with the SEL standards and incorporates social and emotional learning, character education, and mindfulness. The 4 units of instruction through Choose Love is courage, how to overcome and push through fears, gratitude, how looking for a positive creates a happier sense of self, forgiveness, conflict resolution and compassion, and how to be kind to others how to be kind and how this is good for ourselves. Every lesson has an element of mindfulness. So again, what I love about this is the counselors are entering the classroom with a true curriculum, and then they're teaching kids on how to deal with their day. What happens when everybody gets mad? And as adults, we usually know how to regulate that. When can we express our anger and when can we not? And kids don't get that yet. And so teaching the students some basic things, belly breathing, muscle relaxation, visualizations, yoga, tapping, some basic strategies that a kid can practice in the classroom. And so, again, we're feeding our counselors the curriculum. And then lastly, we got our new initiatives. We're going into the therapy dogs and the facility dogs. But we're so happy. Miss Mays has been working with the Hamilton Dog Training Club in an effort to expose our students to Rosie and other therapy dogs. But the process has been received so well, and we constantly, I keep hearing feedback, positive feedback, about the emotions and the expressions that take place when a dog walks in the classroom. I mean, it's something that's very simple, but it allows kids to just relax, open up, and feel good. I included a couple, one teacher and one student quote, but the therapy dog was a positive and calming experience for my students who have sensory regulation issues and anxiety. I was able to witness them being happy and calm while interacting with the dog. They all wanted more time with her. And then from a student's perspective, Rosie made me feel really happy. She brought joy to my heart. I've struggled in school dealing with my emotions over the years, and she made me feel like I had a purpose or a special place here at school. I felt calm and safe. Rosie was so sweet and loving. And so this is just one experience, but we are really hoping to increase these experiences and work on that programming. Facility dogs, like I did a presentation on facility dogs before. But this is a process that's happening, and we are so excited. At South Elementary, they've done, I guess, the house inspection or whatever it takes, but they come out and they make sure that the home is good for the dog and everything like that. But South is going to be raising funds here for their own facility dog. The internship, it says here, is spring 2022, and I wrote this week, but as of this morning, that's being moved up. And they've asked if she'd be willing to start this program starting sometime after the Christmas break. And that doesn't mean coming to school. That means going to that. I mean, it takes a long time before we actually get to the in-school programming, but you got to get acquainted with the dog, familiarize with the dog, and you filter on into the school. But they do have a dog that's ready and trained, and so we are so excited that process is there. Again, this is through Circle Tail. Circle Tail works with many school districts around the area, and so now we're happy to be part of that family. And so social and emotional learning, I mean, I hate to wrap this up in 10 minutes because it's so much work, and then there's so much involved in this aspect. It's new. We have to look for the curriculum, but you can have the people and you can have the curriculum, but without the data, do you know you're doing the job? And now we have the ability to gather data on the evidence of our curriculum. And that's a huge piece because we need to show growth and we need to know where we need to continue our efforts. The two agencies we are working with, I can't be more happy with. The two different business models are coming together so nicely, and we're able to service a lot of students. So that's what we got going on right now. So if you got any questions.
Questions, comments from the board?
Yeah, no, I think this is great. This is so important. Amber, thank you for coming tonight, and more importantly, thank you for what you're doing on a daily basis within our schools and the other people in the program. I think mental health in general is stigmatized within our society, and it's important that as a teenager or even a middle schooler, if you're struggling with issues, you've got somebody that you're comfortable and confident in that you can go to, and then we'll encourage you to seek further treatment so that maybe that stigma, if it exists, and maybe it doesn't exist, but if it is there, you're hearing from somebody that it's okay, right? And I think that's the first step. So important. So thank you very much for what you're doing and for being here tonight to talk to us.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it a lot. I loved it.
Any other comments?
I too agree that you have done an excellent job, and thank you so much for putting this presentation together in general. I think the work that we're doing is going to pay off. It's already paying off. I would want to know the work that you do in Hope Squad. Do you think that the work that you've done has increased during the pandemic, and just in general? Have you seen or noticed a change in some of the issues that the kids might call and want you to just, listen as they talk about? Has there been some shifts there?
I definitely think there has been a shift there. I mean, we had a break during the pandemic where we couldn't really do a lot, but we always did our best because, of course, with that being at home and a lot of more stress coming in, there's a lot more issues that are going to come into play. And so there's definitely been more people that are needing someone to talk to, and so we've been working really hard to, be there for them, obviously. And I have seen that there's been a bit more people coming to us now because a lot more people just need that support system. But right now we're getting new members and everything, so I feel like we've been making the proper adjustments to that, and yeah.
Very good. Great. Thank you so much. Great job.
Amber, thank you so much. That's awesome, and I'm glad that you and the other leaders in Hope Squad are doing what you're doing. It does make a big difference, and it's unfortunate that we have to have something like this, but it's fortunate that we have you and others to do in these programs. All of this together, Mr. Crapo, is outstanding, and it's amazing that the kids have an outlet to reach out to, and again, especially to the other students, because they'll come to you before they may other counselors, teachers, parents, that type of thing. So is the The Catalyst counseling and that, is that just during school? Is that available after hours, or does it continue after hours at all?
Those are our school-based counselors, so they do have the ability to meet after hours, and they meet during the summer as well.
Okay.
Our goal is to try to not drop, their goal is to try not to drop clients over the summertime. The benefit of them is at school is the parents don't have to do anything.
Right.
Once you go through that process, then we're just taking care of it at school.
Yeah, good. And I like that over the summer. It's like, oh, school's out, sorry, we can't help you again.
Right.
So it continues on.
Yep.
So thank you for that. And one more thing on Hope Squad, maybe Amber, maybe you can answer this, or Mr. Crapo. Last year I had asked about the Hope Squad leaders as yourself. Do you yourself get approached by teachers or counselors or Hope Squad leaders to say, how are you doing? You're taking on a lot of these kids, students coming to you. How are you doing? I'm not asking that right now, but do you get asked, how are you doing? How are you handling all this dumping on you? So Amber, how are you doing with all this, and is there any Hope Squad need for you yourself? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
We've had our Hope Squad advisors, the teachers in the school, talk to us a lot about this, actually, because I've heard a lot of people say that it's so important for us to care for ourselves as well as other people.
Yep.
And we had to go through a long process to get here. We had to sign contracts. We had to be, like, inducted into the Hope Squad. Like, it wasn't just like we were forced into it. So we're always choosing to be here for other people. So, like, I feel like a lot of us accept the risks of, like, having that extra level, but of course, they always check up on us. Like, I know all of the Hope Squad advisors always come up. They've come up to me multiple times just to make sure, like, with everything going on, that we're okay. So yeah, they are very, they're very, I cannot think of that word.
involved, engaged?
Attentive.
They're very engaged in our lives, and they
Okay.
really want to know how we're doing and how we're dealing with everything.
Good,
So I feel
good.
like
That's
that's-
really important, because you're hearing and taking on a lot, and that can be very overwhelming for a 16, 17-year-old person, no matter how strong you are. And I understand you're nominated for this. It's not like, hey, I'm going to do this. Not everybody does it, so I understand that, and thank you again. You must be a very special person for being nominated or accepted into that. So, and I'm glad the advisors check up on you, because that to me was a big concern, because I knew a couple leaders that were in a hard place, and they were struggling with advisors not reaching out to them, and that was concerning to me last year. So I'm glad you clarified that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you both very much for being here this evening. This was very enlightening. This is very important work that you're doing, maybe even most important work that's going on in our schools right now. I mean, kids can learn and they can get help at home, but a lot of kids don't get help at home for their emotional needs. So thank you both very much. I appreciate all the information. And this was I had a lot of questions, and most of them were answered, so thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you both.
Great job.